Welcome to Take 5, your 5-minute inspirational message from Solid Rock, Drogheda. Earlier this year, I was in New York City with my wife Janice, and we were strolling around. We were doing the tourist thing, and we like to walk a lot. When we go to a city, we like to just go exploring and wander around, and could spend all day wandering around a city through different neighborhoods, seeing some of the tourist attractions, but often just trying to get a feel for the place and soak up the atmosphere. And we had just come out of Central Park and were crossing a major road when we were standing at the traffic lights, and Janice crossed over as it said walk, and whenever it says to walk, you walk, because the police there can actually arrest you for jaywalking if you cross the street when the signal is saying stop. But I'm just stood there staring up at a poster on the traffic signal, and that somebody had pinned to the pole. And Janice is looking back at me saying, "Come on, what's keeping you?" And I'm just staring up at this pole. And so she came back to see what I was looking at. And it was an advertisement announcing that the Messiah has come. It was aimed at New York's Jewish community, and it was a picture of a rather unremarkable looking rabbi and declaring that he was the Messiah that the Jewish religion is waiting for. Now, of course, we know that the Messiah has already come and that the Messiah is Jesus. In fact, I do remember years ago visiting Israel and talking with a representative of the Israeli Prime Minister at the time, who was speaking to myself and a group of other pastors, and he said, we both believe that the Messiah is coming, only we believe he's still got to come and you believe he's already come. He says, in fact, when the Messiah does come, I intend to ask him, "Sir, have you ever visited our country before?" But people are still waiting for the Messiah, and they're still looking in the wrong places whenever Jesus is the one who has already come. When you read the New Testament, the New Testament is full of the many, many different times when Jesus fulfilled all of the criteria, all the qualities that the Messiah was supposed to fulfill. And yet there are people still waiting for the Messiah who reject the one who came and fulfilled all of those messianic prophecies. Now you might say, well, why would that be? Because people don't always make decisions based on evidence. Even when faced with the evidence of who Jesus is, it doesn't necessarily mean that somebody's therefore going to take the step of faith to receive Jesus as Savior, because believing in him is different from believing on him. To believe in him is to believe, Jesus is the Son of God. Yeah, Jesus died on the cross. It's to believe a set of facts. But to believe on him is to put your trust in him and commit your life to him. And that takes more than facts. It takes faith. There's a story told about an evangelist that was teaching in a university. He was answering questions from skeptical, atheistic students, and one student kept asking questions again and again and again. Eventually this evangelist said to him, "Look, if I answer all of your questions perfectly to your satisfaction, will you receive Jesus as your Savior?" And this student thought for a minute and said, "No." And he said, "Well, why not?" He said, "Well, it would mess up the way I want to live my life." So people make decisions not just on facts, but on their desires, sometimes their sinful desires, and we need to take a step of faith. There was once a tightrope walker called the Great Blondin, and he was performing at Niagara Falls. He had a high wire strung across Niagara Falls, and he did all kinds of things. He walked across the Niagara Falls on the high wire. He stopped halfway and stood on his head. At one point, he even got a wheelbarrow and pushed the wheelbarrow across Niagara Falls on this tightrope. And everyone's clapping, and he says, "Do you believe I could put somebody in this wheelbarrow and wheel them back across the falls?" And everyone's like, yeah. He says, "Okay, who's going to be the first one to get in the wheelbarrow?" Nobody would get in, because it was one thing to believe he could do it, but it was a different thing to be the one in the wheelbarrow. That didn't just take intellectual assent, that took faith. I would encourage you today, if you have not already done so, put your faith in Jesus Christ. He is the one who can carry you, and he is the Messiah who has come, whatever some bloke in New York might try to say otherwise. God bless you today. Join us again tomorrow for another Take 5, your 5-minute inspirational message from Solid Rock, Drogheda.